Good morning, everyone. I am Maria Mariel Cernicola, and together with my group mates, we are the last presenters for today's video. Our topic is all about the grading system and grading system of Department of Education. At the end of the lesson discussion, the students are expected to distinguish between norm referenced and criterion referenced grading, cumulative and averaging system, and compute grades of students in various grade levels observing DepEd guidelines. So our topics under this discussion is all about the norm referenced grading, criterion referenced grading, 4 questions grading, what should go into a student's grade, standardized test scoring, and cumulative and averaging system of grading. Assessing our students' performance is essential. Knowing how the student progressing in a certain course is incidentally how a teacher is also performing with respect to the teaching process. Assessment of students' performance includes the following: the student's progress and the teacher's performance. There are 2 steps in assessment. The first one is testing. So testing is a pencil paper objective test wherein performance-based teaching procedure is used. And the second one is, grading. It is a decision to grade the performance of the student. Exactly. American system, for instance, grades are expressed in terms of letters: A, B, B plus, B negative, C negative, or D, or what is referred to as a 7-point system. While in Philippines, colleges and universities, the letters are replaced with numerical values such as 1, 1.25, 1.50, 1.75, 2.0, 2.5, 3.0, 4.0, or an 8-point system. Basic education, grades are expressed as percentages of accomplishment, such as 80% or 75%. Our topic is all about norm referenced grading. So let us define what it is. It refers to a grading system wherein a student's grade is placed in relation to the performance of a group. In this system, a grade of 8 means that the student performed better or the same as 80% of the class or group. Example: considering the following 2 sets of score in an English 1 class for 2 sections of 10 students each. In letter A, there are 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, and 85. Those are the scores. While in B, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, and 100. So in section E, the highest score is 75, which means it goes beyond 80%. And in section B, 90. And the same as the section A, the percentage is also 80%. So that means that the passing rate is 80%, both in section A and section B. If the test used for the 2 classes are the same, it would be a rather unfair system of grading. The previous example illustrates one difficulty with using a norm referenced grading system. This problem is called the problem of equivalency. For example, a teacher may establish a grading policy whereby the top 15% of students will receive a mark of excellent or outstanding, which in a class of 100 enrolled students will be 15 persons. Such a grading policy is illustrated below. In norm referenced grading, the students, while they may work individually, are actually in competition to achieve a standard of performance that will classify them into the desired grade range. It essentially promotes competition among students or pupils in the same class. In the table below, 1.0 for excellent, top 15% of the class, 1.50 good, next 15% of the class, and so on. Example, in a class of 100 students, the mean score in a test is 70 with a standard deviation of 5. Construct a norm reference grading table that would have a 7 grade scales and such that students scoring between plus or minus 1 standard deviation from the mean receives an average grade. Some advantages and disadvantages of using norm reference grading system. So its advantage is that it is very easy to use. It works well for the course with retention policies, and it limits only a few students to advance to the next level. While its disadvantage is that the performance of the student is not determined by his achievement but also the achievement of the other students. It promotes competition rather than cooperation. Another one is that it focuses on individual achievement, appropriate for a large number of students. And the other disadvantage of it is that it cannot be used if the class is smaller than 40. Not all students can pass the given subject or course. A more subtle problem with norm reference grading is that a strict correspondence between the evaluation methods used and the course instructional goals is not necessary to yield the required grade distribution. The specific learning objectives of norm reference classes are often kept hidden, in part out of concerns that instructions not give away the test or the teacher's priorities, since this might tend to skew the curve. I hope you learned something from my part, and I will be giving the floor to our next reporter, our Madam First Lady, Miss Roslyn M. Ingrova.
Hi everyone, I am Roslyn M. Ingrova, and for today's video, I am going to discuss the criterion reference grading. So, when we say criterion reference grading, it is a system that basically based on a fixed criterion measure. There is a fixed target and the students must achieve the target in order to obtain a passing grade in a course regardless of how the other students in the class perform. Norm reference refers to how a student compares to other students, and criterion reference refers to how a student's score compares to a criterion, such as a predetermined standard or goal. It is based on measuring a student against a level of performance, not measuring one student against another student. So, criterion reference are used to examine a specific knowledge and abilities that students have most likely gained. This determines how close they are to mastering a standard. They allow teachers to assess how they can assess students improve in specific areas. This means looking at how a student is performing today compared to how the student performed the day before that. There are the types of criterion reference tests. So first is questionnaires and surveys. Second is multiple choice questions. Third is true or false questions. And last is open-ended questions. Example, in a class of 100 students, no one might get a grade of excellent if no one scores 98 above or 85 above, depending on the criterion used. So the 1.0, which is excellent, is 98 to 100 or 85 to 100, and 1.5, which is good, is 88 to 97 or 80 to 84, then the 2.0, which is here, it is 75 to 87 or 70 to 79, and 3.0, which is 4 or plus, it is the 65 to 74 or 60 to 69, and 1.5 is failure, it is below 65 or below 60. If the teacher gives a passing score 50%, then the student must get a passing grade. So in class A, the highest score of the students got 95, then the equivalent or the criterion reference grade is 97.5. In class B, the highest score of the students got 90. The criterion reference grade is 95. So, how to compute B? To compute the class B, it is basically divided to 90 divided by 100 multiplied by 50 plus 50 equals to 95. So that's all. Criterion reference systems are often used in situations where the teachers are agreed on the meaning of a standard of performance in a subject, but the quality of the students is unknown or uneven. In criterion reference grading system, the student can help a fellow student in a group work without necessarily worrying about lowering his grade in that course. So, with criterion reference grading, a rich learning environment is to everyone's advantage. Students are rewarded for contributing to class and small group discussions. Both grading systems could be applied depending on what the teacher would want to assess or depending on the educational philosophy of the teacher. That would be all my part. Thank you for listening.